Good evening and welcome to the St. Charles Parish Council meeting Monday, October 3rd, 2022 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers in the parish courthouse. Please silence all electronic devices and remove all hats. This meeting is called to order with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance from Reverend Carvin Smith with the Philadelphia Baptist Church in Hanville.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come on tonight, and dear God, as we come tonight, we ask that you will look upon this governing body. God, that you will look upon President Jewell and this entire governing body, that you would continue to lead and guide them, that you would give them the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. God, that they would govern this parish the way that you see fit. God, we pray tonight that you would intercede upon this meeting, dear God, that everything that is on the agenda, God, be decently and in order. And then, God, we ask that when this meeting is adjourned, God, that you would give us your traveling grace and arrival mercies, God, that we will return safely back unto our destination. And then, God, if you see fit, that you would wake us up on tomorrow. God, we pray that you would have us to wake up with our feet hitting the floor, running to do what you have assigned to our hand. We ask now, God, these and all blessings in the name of your darling Son, Jesus, and all who's in agreement, say amen. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Smith. Approval of the minutes. I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of September 19th, 2022. I have a motion by Ms. Fonseca, second by Mr. Dufresne. Please cast your votes. And that motion passes with Ms. Cormier absent for the evening and Ms. Gordon abstaining. All righty. Special business proclamations, canvas returns, etc. 2022-0285 in recognition, Ms. Keandra Milligan, Board of Adjustments. Ms. Belloc.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Parish of St. Charles. October 3rd, 2022. The St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President deeply appreciate your service on the St. Charles Parish Board of Adjustment. Keandra Milligan, District 5 Representative, December 7th, 2021 through August 10th, 2022. And I decided to read this little bottom piece right here because I thought it was really unique. Parish of Plenty, created in 1807 from the country of the German coast, a parish of unprecedented economic and social development, known for its hospitality, rural living, and sporting opportunities, with the added distinction of being located on both sides of the mighty Mississippi River. Ms. Keandra Milligan, she's here. Yeah. All right, thank you. I'll deliver it to her.
We'll get that to her. All righty. 2022-0286, a proclamation. National 4-H Week. Whereas the St. Charles Parish Council is proud to honor the 4-H Youth Development Program of the Louisiana Ag Center for years of providing experience-based education to youngsters throughout the state, and whereas this admirable program, which seeks to provide a learning experience for the whole child, including head, heart, hands, and health, helps young Louisianans to acquire knowledge, develop life skills, and form attitudes to enable them to become self-directed, productive, and contributing members of our society. And whereas its urban, suburban, and rural youth participants, ranging in age from 8 to 19, hail from diverse ethnic, social, economic backgrounds, and truly represent a cross-section of the state, and whereas the program undoubtedly could not have achieved the success that it has today if it were not for the services of its volunteers who have given generously of their time, talents, energies, and resources to the youth of Louisiana. And whereas through its proud history, the 4-H program has developed positive role models for countless Louisianans, and through its innovative and inspiring programs, continue to build character and to install the values that have made our state strong and great. Therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim the week of October 2nd through 8th, 2022, as National 4-H Week in St. Charles Parish, and commend the 4-H Youth Development Program of Louisiana Cooperative Extension Service and the many men and women who have made the program a success. I believe we have Ms. Sharon Motto and Ms. Riley Motto to accept.
Thank you all very much. We greatly appreciate the support.
All right, 2022-0287, Proclamation, Fire Prevention Week. Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairman. Proclamation, whereas St. Charles Parish is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all of those living in and visiting our parish, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the location where people are at greatest risk from fire. And whereas home fires killed more than 2,580 people in the United States in 2020, and according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 356,500 home fires. And whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to danger in the event of a fire, which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. Working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. And whereas residents should be sure everybody in the home understands the sounds of the smoke alarms and knows how to respond. And whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas residents should make sure their smoke and carbon monoxide alarms meet the needs of all of their family members, including those with sensory and physical disabilities. And whereas first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas the 2022 Fire Prevention Week theme is Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, effectively serves to remind us it is important to have a home fire escape plan. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim October 9th through October 15th, 2022 as Fire Prevention Week in St. Charles Parish, and urge all residents to plan and practice a home fire escape for Fire Prevention Week 2022, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the parish's fire and emergency services. Here to accept this award is Armand Burke.
Thank you.
Good evening. We, the St. Charles Firemen's Association, like to thank the parish president and council for this proclamation. And just remind everyone, as the proclamation is announced, smoke detectors are important. The state fire marshal and the local volunteer fire departments have a smoke detector program. All you got to do is reach out. We'll come put it in free of charge for you. We're getting ready to find out whether we're going to change the clock or not, but just remember, for those old smoke detectors, those batteries need to be replaced. And I'll leave you with this, as I've said before. It's always important to have 2 fire extinguishers, one in the kitchen and one in the bedroom. That might be your lifeline out. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Reports, finance, administrative activities, 2022-0280, River Parish's Tourism Commissioner, Mr. Robichaux.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Councilman, and President Jew. I'm going to keep this short. No comment, Mr. Jew? The PowerPoint's going to be here? It was up there. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
There you go. You shoot that up there after? So I took this position about a year and a half ago. So we were coming out of COVID. We were coming out of the pandemic a year and a half ago, and then we get hit by Ida. So the Tourist Commission was just getting their finances back up, get hit by Ida, went from 1,500 hotel rooms down to 500 rooms overnight. Now, why is that important? Councilman Cluley asked me before this just to make sure. We receive 4% hotel motel tax. So that's about 98% of our budget is straight from hotel motel tax, 4%. We also do receive some money from the state, from the Lieutenant Governor's office in a form of grants, but not that much, just a small amount. Most of it is the hotel motel tax. I did send the budget to y'all, our budget, somewhere around June time period. I didn't get any responses or remarks, so I'm hoping everybody's good with it. Did send it for y'all to review, that we have to do every year. So now that we're out of the pandemic, let's try to kind of move forward. Let's just so y'all know who we are again. We are formed by a Louisiana statute in 1999. We have 3 commissioners from St. Charles Parish, 3 from St. John, and 3 from St. James. We are located in LaPlace on Belterre. Y'all do know when you exit from Belterre, you have this big alligator. That's where we used to be. Somewhere around July 1st, we moved down the street into Nolan Schexnayder's building, right by Louisiana Federal Credit Union on the 2nd floor. We didn't have much room in that smaller building, so we moved down the street, and we have a little more room now to spread our wings a little bit. One of our salespeople would get on Zoom calls around the world talking to people, and the restroom was right behind her. So she needed an office. We just needed a better situation, and we have it now. So just remember who we are. So I'm the executive director, started June of last year, so a year and 3 or 4 months. Denise Burrell is my right hand. She's the deputy director of operations. She takes care of everything inside the office. Wilma Harvey is the director of sales and business development. She goes out to all of our hospitality partners. She works with them to try to bring people in. She's literally hands-on with our partners. Andre Watkins is a senior marketing manager. He's in charge of all of our marketing materials. So one of the things I left out about who we are and what we do, we are a marketing arm for the 3 parishes. Of course, I don't have anything special for St. Charles Parish, even though I was born and raised here and never left. hint, hint, I'm kind of, my hometown here. But yes, we do represent all three parishes, but we are a marketing arm. We go around the world marketing the three parishes. So Andre does all of our marketing materials, all of our logos. That's what he's in charge of. He does a lot of IT work also. Kiki Manier is our senior communications and engagement manager. She's in charge of this PowerPoint. She's in charge of a lot of the stuff I say. I think I know most of y'all, and it's kind of hard to tell me what to say or control what I say, but she tries to. She tries really hard. She does a really good job. Kiki is a St. Charles Parish resident from the East Bank. Andre's from the West Bank. Wilma's from the Gulf Coast, and Denise is from St. John Parish. So I have two St. Charles, one transplant, and one St. John. And I don't treat the West Bank St. Charles Parish person any different all the time. So what we do is, like I just told you, we go around the world representing the three parishes, trying to get people to come visit here in the river parishes. I want to point out just two of the things that we attended this year: the Sports and Relationship Conference and the Sports ETA. So at these conferences, what our team does is they go out and they meet with all these tourism people who bring visitors, whether it's buses, whether it's small meetings and events. The reason I pointed those two out is we already had one event here that was found at one of these conferences, and the one I'm going to speak of later was found at one of these conferences. We did have football combines at Destrehan a few months back. It brought over 6,000 people into the parish to spend money. It was a pretty cool event. It was God, I can't think of the name of it now. I just dropped it out of my head. But we had to put some of the people in Jefferson Parish because we don't have enough hotel rooms. But we filled up our hotel rooms. They ate at our restaurants, shopped at our stores. At these conferences, we also find travel writers, and we find people who schedule all these sporting events, and we bring them in what's called a FAM tour, familiarization tour. We bring them in groups, sometimes just one or two at a time. We hit different locations in all three parishes. We show them what we have. It's really a cool experience because you can go anywhere and talk about the river parishes and tell them what we have and our culture and what we do here. But until they actually come here and experience it, everyone walks away with a different feeling. Everyone usually schedules some type of a trip back here with their tourists every time we bring them in. So that's one of our biggest catches of people. So none of this works without my three commissioners from St. Charles Parish. Garrett Monty has been one of our commissioners for 8 years representing St. Charles Parish, and y'all very well. He's done a tremendous job. He's been the chair for the last 2 years, but he is stepping down. He's not going to be one of our commissioners anymore. I just want to publicly thank him for his service and what he's done for us. Ricardo Smith and Tracy Smith both still serve as commissioners for us and do a tremendous job representing both the council, economic development, and all of St. Charles Parish. So, exciting news. So, upcoming events. So this is the biggest one. This was our biggest catch, and when I say that, it's for a reason. I have to kind of control what I say because Corey's going to come up here after me and talk about this also. One of our biggest catches, Kiki was at a sports conference, and talked to the King Cat tournament people. They said, we're looking for more venues to host catfish tournaments. Sorry. I wasn't supposed to see the next slide. No, I'm just... that they're looking for different locations. And, of course, Kiki's first thing was, well, the Zalmans is the catfish capital of the world. Why are y'all not here? And after about... Universe, I'm sorry, yeah. Catfish capital of the universe. I agree with you. So we shipped this guy here. Here goes with the FAM tours, right? He was really excited. We signed a partial contract. He tells us when he gets here, he says, I hope I impress y'all enough that y'all want us back every year. Well, I told him that I hope we impress him enough that he comes back every year. We were fortunate enough to have one of your councilmen take him out and show him Lake des Allemands and where they're going to be fishing. We took him, we showed him how to do zip line. We showed in Laplace. We showed him how to do. We took him on the swamp tour and through some alligators. Huh? And the spillway. Okay, so I didn't know if you were going to talk about that, but here we go. So the actual tournament is going to be in Lake des Allemands. They're going to launch in des Allemands. The kids tournament is going to be in the spillway. It's going to kind of coincide with the kids tournament you already have in a spillway for fishing, but it's just going to be much bigger and more exciting. This is all going to happen September 22nd, 23rd of 2023, along with the Alligator Fest. They want to use the Alligator Fest as kind of the backdrop of this national televised fishing, when they bring the fish out and weigh them and everything. They want this all at the Alligator Fest. The best news about all of this, I didn't even tell you yet, we went into this agreement with all this money coming out of the Tourism Commission's pocket. We got the parish to hopefully kick in some money, and then Shell comes up to us and says, wait, we'll sponsor it. We'll take all of it from you. So that's the most exciting news that I had all day, was when he said that. So now it's going to be Cabela's and Shell King Cat Tournament. But this guy was very, very excited. He loved the place. It will be here every year along with the Alligator Festival. These are some of the numbers. I'm just going to breeze through them because, again, Corey said he was going to handle some of this. It's going to bring in directly about $191,444 estimated. Throw in all the advertisement, the free advertisement that we get out of this. It's going to be about $233,000. By the way, this is pretty direct numbers, meaning this is not numbers that if they bring in other family members, if they stay 2 days, if they come in 2 days early, if they stay 2 days after, if they go visit Destran Plantation, if they go wherever, that's not included in this number. So what the Tourist Commission is kind of promising is we're going to really pamper these people, make sure they stay around St. Charles Parish, make sure they spend their money here, so we get a really good economic impact on this. Next thing, river rhythms. So the Tourist Commission and LaFawn Performing Arts Center, we got together. We wanted to put on something called River Rhythms, Rockin' the River. We wanted to hold a concert in St. Charles Parish that's open to the public, but we didn't really have a place to put it. We didn't know how we were going to handle it. LaFawn Performing Arts Center said, wait a minute, we wanted to do this too. So we said, well, let's do it together. So the parking lot, this Sunday, October 9th, between noon and 6 p.m., we're going to have Bag of Donuts, Big Sam's Funky Nation, and Amanda Shaw. Free to the public. Everybody come out and enjoy. So one of the things that was really impacted all three parishes, I know it's going to sound kind of weird because it's it's on a computer. Not long after we started, one of my team members brought to me a program called Eventney and asked if we would spend $2,400 to buy into a computer program that benefits fairs and festivals. I was like, well, $2,400, I don't want to just spend $2,400, but let's try it out. When I'm telling you this is well worth every dollar we spent on it. Every fair and festival has utilized this in the three parishes. It's an amazing tool. You go in, you can buy tickets, you can plan where all your booths are going to be. It's really, really a cool tool. If you want to know more about it, I'll talk to you more about it later. But it's really something everybody's using. Even Councilman Cormier called me today asking if the port could utilize it, and of course they can. They're part of us. So they're going to start using it. So it's a really cool tool. So other events that we're hosting, that are being hosted in St. Charles Parish. Destran Spring Fest at Destran Plantation Spring Fest, their 50th annual, November 12th and 13th. Battle for the Paddle, as we know. I'm saying it again, and I'm sure Corey's going to talk about it and everybody. Battle for the Paddles, Thursday, October 6th from 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. But one you don't know about, and I'm sure y'all all going to want to do this, November 19th, the Armadillo Dash Trail Run in the Spillway. It's a sloppy one. It's when you put your dirty clothes on. It's a pretty cool little run. Everybody has a great time doing this. People even park by my house, which is pretty far from the run to get there. It's that jam-packed. So that's me. That's us. Do y'all have any questions, comments, concerns?
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Robichaud. Appreciate it.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Mr. Jewell?
I'm sorry, I was having trouble with my thing here. Just say thank you for the presentation. Thanks for helping to get the King Cat tournament to St. Charles Parish. It only makes sense that it should be
Of course.
in the Catfish Capital universe, and I'm very hopeful that our new boat launch in the Zalman's coming in roughly 2024 will definitely anchor that tournament for us here and attract other tournaments as well.
And the one of the main things, so this is the second to last tournament. They have one huge tournament that's a week long, that's like the national catfish tournament. So you got to place in this one to qualify for the national one, to the main one. And of course, I told this guy that once this dock's built, we're coming after them. We want the main one. So we're going to treat y'all the way y'all going to say, I don't want to go back wherever they are. I don't even remember what he told us. You remember, Nikki? I don't remember where he said to find
I
the
can't
ones
remember
out.
where it
Yeah.
was.
There are 3 other locations in the state
Louise,
to qualify for
There's
this
one in Shreveport, one in
Alexandria.
Alexandria and here. And so I brought the guy, Alan, from under the bridge into Zalman's to Lake des Zalman's. And then from Lake des Zalman's all the way to Lake Salvador. And he was blown away. He said he had never seen water, that he could fish that much for catfish. And he let us set the boundaries where people could fish. I told them they could only fish on the east side of the bayou because that's St. Charles Parish. The other side is Lafourche. I hated to bring him to Sparse because it's in Lafourche, but he wanted catfish, so I had to bring him there. But no, the guy was a gentleman. Kiki did a great job. Jay did a great job. He was like, man, we'll fish here all the time if it works out. And
So
I've
when-
already scouted out a couple extra places for boats because he's going to have 50 to 60 boats and trailers. So Dwayne's going to ask money for a side-by-side to bring people from the church to the boat launch because there won't be enough parking at the one under the bridge. But
I want to thank you, Councilman Dufresne, personally, because when we were scheduling this, trying to get the guy here, and we were looking at where to launch, I kept being told that the best situation is to cross the bridge and launch on the Lafourche side. And your councilman came to bat and said, no, we're keeping that in St. Charles Parish. So that helped tremendously. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dufresne. Thank you, Mr. Robichaud. Appreciate it.
oh, one last thing.
Mr. Dufresne.
They're trying to fix it where locals will be able to fish in this tournament, but they'll have to pay an entry fee. Everybody else has to qualify. So it goes through qualifications. So this one will be the one before the championship. I think the championship was $150,000 check and 2 boats.
Yeah,
And
the
an
purse is big.
81-year-old lady last year won it with a 93-pound fish.
And she weighed like 98 pounds.
Yeah,
Like the fish was
more
almost
than
the
her.
same as
Fish
her.
weighed more than she did.
Yeah,
So
it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
unbelievable. So.
thank you.
Sounds like a great event. It's going to be good. 2022-0281, Department of Economic Development and Tourism. Mr. Fauché.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight. And just one last thing on the King Cat. As I understand it, the kids' rodeo is going to schedule to be at the spillway, and I didn't attend when they took them out to the spillway, but he was just blown away at it. And I think they're going to look at not just doing some fishing there, but doing a lot more things there. So, thank you. So tonight, we just want to give you a quick look at the department, take a look at where we are in terms of our local economy, then close with a look ahead to next year. I think I can do it. Yeah, okay, thanks. First and foremost, we have a great team. Miss Christy Dupree has been with me now for just over 2 years, or almost 2 years. She's been riding alone these past few months, but I'm happy to announce that we will soon be adding our newest team member, Miss Karen Robichaux. I'm hopeful that she will join us next week, so we are excited to have her. Let's see. Oh, that's it. I'm doing it, or you doing it? No, how about you? So oftentimes we're asked what do we do in economic development, and that screenshot is a one-pager that kind of sums up everything that we do, or the 5 areas that we focus on. We want to attract or bring in new business to the parish. We want to help our local residents create or start their own businesses. We want to keep the businesses that we have in the parish and help them grow and expand. And we want to support anything and everything that it improves the business conditions of the parish or helps improve the quality of life of the parish. Okay. I want to take a minute just to touch on 2 things that we manage in the department. There are 2 online tools. The first on your left is a screenshot of the SCP Works. SCP Works is an online jobs board that we have here in the parish that we try to help and grow and list all of the jobs that we are aware of that are available in the parish. The screenshot on the right is our online database of available property in the parish. It includes every property, vacant land and vacant space that is either for sale or for lease in the parish. Next slide. Once you get into it, you can click on the properties and learn about them, as well as it also offers a tool to learn about all of the important business data that will help you make that business that business choice. Next slide. As Jay mentioned, he is one of the many partners that we work with. What you see on your screen there are some of the partners that are most actively trying to help us grow the economy. Next slide. So looking at the current economic conditions in the parish, what you see on the left there shows that we are a top 10 size economy. We are the 10th ranked, the 10th largest economy in the state of Louisiana, despite the fact that we are 20th in size. So as you go about doing your business to promote the parish and help the parish, this shows how important we are to the state of Louisiana. The table on the left also shows that we are the 2nd ranked highest earnings environment in the state. So again, these are all great tools for you to use as we go about trying to promote the parish. Next slide. Spending stays strong in the parish. As Grant has mentioned to everyone in the past, the taxable sales are strong, and in fact, for this year, we think they're going to be above the $2 billion mark again, which is at or near record highs. Next slide. The labor market stays, it is extremely tight, I guess is the best way to put it. The August unemployment rate on that slide that you see there is 3.2%. This is down quite a bit from the 4.9% that we saw last year. It basically means we have about 450 more employed people this year versus last year. That little red circle in the middle there shows how that unemployment rate ranks amongst our peers and amongst our neighbors in the state. Next slide. Now, one of the reasons why that rate is so low is because the workforce pool is shrinking. I know everyone has read about this, but right now we are about 800 or so. We're counting about 800 or so less workers than we were about 4 years ago. So for a parish the size of ours, we we just can't afford to lose that many workers, which is cost for all of the job vacancies that you see, not just here, but it's nationally. And we do see some of that quiet quitting that you've read about, that does occur here as well. Next slide. So looking toward next year, we have a fiscal session combined with the upcoming elections. So we have to stay on our toes for next year. This slide here is often cited as the reason why we need to change the tax code in Louisiana. I don't know if you can quite see it, but right now we are at amongst the bottom 10 states in the country in terms of our tax climate for businesses. This is in large part due to the low ranking that we get for sales tax, where we are heavily dependent on sales tax here in Louisiana. Next slide. So you're going to hear about what we need to do, a lot about what we need to do to help simplify the tax code. We are often compared to Texas, and how things are great in Texas, how their business costs are so much lower versus Louisiana. The truth of the matter is that oftentimes we are in a lower business cost environment than Texas. The problem is we have so many credits and exemptions that you need an army of accountants and attorneys to capture all of those credits and exemptions. So you can turn to the next slide. So this upcoming session, you're going to hear a lot about tax rates, tax credits, exemptions, and reasons for and against why we need to change some or all of them. Now, this top 10 list that you see there, I copied that from a recent meeting that I attended with some tax experts and some legislators, and this is some of their this is their top 10 areas that they think that that they will focus on this upcoming session. So, next slide. That's it. I'll take any questions if you have. Great, thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Poche, appreciate it. 2022-0282, Parish President's Remarks and Report. Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll wait for that to get pulled up here. Okay, we're going to start off with Public Works. A couple of projects that are coming online now that are have been on the books for a little while. One of those is St. Charles Avenue near Ashton. If you recall last year, I believe maybe one or two of y'all got a call about the parish going to dig out ditches along the center median of that, and residents being a little bit worried about pooling water and stuff. We worked with Public Works and went back to the drawing board, and we're going to add some subsurface drainage down the middle of that median to keep it dry, but also to make sure that it's draining well. So that project is near completion, and we'll probably just be waiting on getting the catch basins and everything framed up. Over on Wade Street, this is the top of Wade Street. So if you look on the left of your screen there, that's the old barber shop. Just to give you some perspective. So top of Wade Street, this barber shop to your left would have been like the Table and Sweet Joy businesses. So this culvert that was located, there was a drainage issue that was located on this street, trying to figure out what was the deal. Everything looked normal until we looked inside the culvert and someone had filled it with cement. So our crews are out there changing the entire culvert out and putting new culvert in. I'm not an expert, but that should improve the drainage a little bit. Lakewood East, our folks are just out doing regular maintenance. So you can see this is across from Lakewood School. They're digging out the ditches and making sure that drainage is flowing well in that area. Over in Bayou Estates, we have crews changing out rotten culverts along Bayou Estates and Bayou Gauche. Our crews try to replace these culverts with plastic to increase flow and make just the installation more efficient. Sometimes there are issues with doing plastic in areas where you don't have enough cover. So there may be other times where we use a different material, but we have moved away from using corrugated metal pipe. That's correct, Miles, in saying? So no more corrugated metal pipe because they tend to rot over time, whereas the plastic will not. So that was going on. Over in Oak Lane, more maintenance. So crews were out sweeping and blowing culverts in this area as well. And so just giving the council just a broad overview of work going on around the parish as far as drainage maintenance goes. Code enforcement, to date, code enforcement has closed 1,565 cases, which is nearly double the amount closed in 2021, which is 822. So code enforcement has been working very, very diligently in making sure that we get these cases closed out. We also have a record number of cases open as well, and that is just because Hurricane Ida has added so many more to the list. So while we've closed more cases than ever, we also have more open than ever, and so we ask that the residents please be patient while we go through and close those cases out. We are going to be adding to the code enforcement team to give us some extra manpower, and that'll be a person who will work on the code enforcement team at the planning and zoning office to take care of all the paperwork, to keep our guys out on the streets writing those violations. Additionally, we're doing some research and looking at ways that we can be more effective at enforcing our ordinances. There's a lot of times we have ordinances on the books that require the enforcement to be with the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office has plenty to do as well, so we were looking at opportunities for our people to do enforcement as well. So we'll come back to the council with that information at the appropriate time. Going over to Parks and Recreation, basketball registration is open for winter basketball season, and that's going to be open through October 17th. We did put this information out on Facebook. Please share it if you can, just to make sure that everybody sees it. The booster clubs also have this information. They're going to send that out to the kids as well. And obviously, we're looking for more opportunities to be able to share this information. So we'll be looking at working with the school system as well to get information spread through that avenue. Boys and girls ages 5 through 15 are going to be invited, and the fee is $45 for this. You got to register through your local booster club. Again, the booster clubs have the information. And if you have any other additional questions or need more information, you can visit scpparksandrec.com. RSVP is doing some fall painting. This is a fan favorite of our RSVP members, and it's going to be open for this free painting activity, which is facilitated by artists from the St. Charles Parish Art Guild, and that's going to be Wednesday, October 12th. At the Edward A. Dufresne Community Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and a light lunch will be provided. Those interested in participating should call 783-8907. Again, this information will be on Facebook, on the channel, and all of our avenues to be able to communicate with our residents. The Veterans Memorial Plaza ribbon cutting. We have a tentative date scheduled for November 10th to cut the ribbon on this beautiful plaza. We are hoping that it will be complete. Supply chain issues have affected this project greatly, but what our contractor is telling us right now is that everything should be in and installed by November 10th. Again, we're going to have the only other Gold Star family memorial at this park in the state of Louisiana. So it'll be the first Gold Star family memorial to be at any Louisiana local Veterans Memorial. The only other one is at the state of Louisiana, and the only way that was made possible was from a very generous donation from the family of Wilton Hugh, who Mr. Wilton just recently passed away. But we want to thank the Hugh family. Again, there's still time to purchase bricks for the plaza. We have put in our first brick order, so those who got in early will get a brick at the memorial for the ribbon cutting. And if you want a brick, you can visit www.stcharlesparish.gov/bricks for more information. Sales tax numbers. The sales tax numbers for the month of August, August year over year, so 2021 versus 2022, the sales tax is up 29.9%. So you heard that correctly. That's an additional $800,000 for the month of August. And overall, the sales tax totals from the month of January through August is up 8.41% through the same time last year. Obviously, we hope that every month from now into eternity is up 29% year over year. We look forward to looking at next month's sales tax numbers, which should give us an indication of what happened after Hurricane Ida and how that affected our sales tax numbers. Remember, Hurricane Ida hit on August 29th, so pretty much the entire month of August was captured in these numbers. All right, open jobs. We have carpenter, electrician, helper, engineer, intern, equipment operator 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have grass cutter 2, groundskeeper, laborer, pump operator, helper, pump technician, helper, recreation maintenance, grass cutter, shop mechanic, helper, wastewater laborer, wastewater plant operator. To apply, visit stcharlesparish.gov/employment or call 985-783-5000 for more information. My goal is to hope that next time Corey comes and speaks next year that those numbers will look even better and that we have even more people employed, and hopefully St. Charles Parish has a full roster of employees providing services to the parish. Now I'd like to turn over my report to Dr. Eric Brooks. He's a regional director with the Office of Public Health in Region 3, which covers the river parishes, and he's going to give you guys an update about what's going on Department of Health-wise. Dr. Brooks.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Just brief introductions. I took over this position from Dr. Riggins, started full-time back in March of this year. A native of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, graduate of LSU, undergrad, medical school, and residency. Completed a residency in emergency medicine, so I wasn't formally trained in public health, but in a way I was. Emergency rooms are kind of a focal point for public health issues, be it mental health, opiate abuse, things like that. They all tend to kind of focus in on that area. So this gives me an opportunity to kind of cut those things off before they get to that point. Try to be brief. Got just a little bit of an update on some current issues. First, I've got this COVID. We're kind of moving away from the pandemic portion of it, but it's still there. It's going to be there. It's not going to go away, unfortunately. Infections and hospitalizations are significantly down from their most recent peak in mid to late July. We are moving towards bivalent boosters for vaccines. These include the original COVID variant plus the most prevalent variant currently circulating, which is the Omicron subvariant BA4 and BA5 that makes up more than 90% of the currently circulating COVID variant. Monkeypox, we've seen a gradual decline and plateau of cases over the last several weeks. Louisiana saw currently 257 cases, over 70% of those being in the New Orleans area or Region 1. Region 3 recorded a total of 16 cases. Again, that's kind of plateaued. We've only had one new case since last month on the 15th. We were worried about a surge after the Decadence Festival in New Orleans early last month that never manifested. Unfortunately, we might not see an eradication of monkeypox in the U.S., but it's certainly not going to cause any kind of impact like COVID. Vaccines are available to individuals identified as high risk. Currently identified as high risk are gay, bisexual men, other high-risk sexual behaviors such as multiple partners, healthcare personnel such as paramedics, those working in urgent care, ER, hospitals, labs. Individuals are not asked to identify their risk factor when they present for the vaccine. Vaccines are available through LDH and several of our partners. Flu season is upon us. The Journal of the American Medical Association likened predicting a flu season's severity to forecasting a hurricane's strength and its exact path 5 days before it makes landfall. So it's difficult. But some experts have pointed to Australia's 2022 flu season. They're in a more temperate region of the southern hemisphere, and their flu season typically runs from April to September. They, as a warning about what could happen or what could be in store for our flu season, their cases peaked earlier and higher than they did in any of the other previous 5 flu seasons. Despite the high number of cases that they saw, though, the impact of the 2022 flu season in Australia, as measured by the number of patients hospitalized or patients unable to go to work, was unusually low for the number of cases. So it was rated as low to moderate, which is not higher than the previous 5 years. So even though they saw a large number, it wasn't as severe as far as missing work, hospitalized, things like that. So next thing I've got is STIs, or sexually transmitted infections, have kind of been trending towards getting out of control, really. Give you some numbers. The rate of chlamydia, the most commonly reported STI, has increased by approximately 19% from 2011 to 2018. The rate of gonorrhea rose significantly by greater than 80% from a historic low in 2009. New diagnoses of syphilis are also on the rise nationally. Early syphilis has increased in Louisiana by 36% just from 2020 to 2021. This is concerning too, because people aged 15 to 24 represent 1/2 of the new STI infections, but only 1/4 of the sexually active population. So we would like to start getting into schools and really targeting education to these youth. I think that's going to have the biggest impact moving forward on getting these numbers down. Kind of a look at things we've got coming up. A couple of our team members at the LDH office, Jasmine Alexander, Jennifer False, currently in the process of reaching out to Head Start programs, local schools, libraries in the St. Charles Parish for partnership and programming. We are doing a vaccination event at Fifth African Church in St. Rose on October 23rd from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Is there any questions, comments, concerns?
Ms. Cluley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Your vaccination event is to vaccinate for what?
COVID at this event. I need to double check. We have been bringing monkeypox vaccines to several of these events and flu vaccines in addition.
Ms. Belloc.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You mentioned that you told us where Region 1 was at. Where's Region 3?
Region 3 is the Bayou River parishes. St. Mary Parish, Terrebonne, Lafourche, St. John, St. Charles, St. James, and I'm missing one.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes, thank you. How do churches sign up for the vaccination?
If you'd like to host a vaccination event, I can get you a card or get you my contact information. You can email me, and we can get you set up with one. I only have one card. I apologize. Left the rest in the office.
Okay, thank you.
And I can email my information to the rest of the council. And if you'd like, just let us know if you'd like it to be COVID or COVID, monkeypox, flu. We can do all three.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Brooks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any questions for President Jewell? All righty. Thank you, sir. Ordinances, resolutions introduced for publication, public hearings, Monday, October 17th, 2022, 6 p.m., council chambers, council courthouse in Hanville. 2022-0284, 2022-0288, 2022-0289, 2022-0290. Ordinances introduced for publication, public hearing, Tuesday, November 1st, 2022, 9 a.m. Thursday, November 3rd, 2022, 1 p.m., and Monday, November 7th, 2022, 6 p.m., the council chambers. 2022-0166, an ordinance to approve and adopt the appropriation of funds for the St. Charles Parish Consolidated Operating and Capital Budget for the fiscal year 2023. Okay, ordinance is scheduled for public hearings introduced at a previous meeting. 2022-0273, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Professional Engineering Consultants Corporation to perform engineering services for Phase 3 water line replacement in the Bonacary Spillway, project number WWKS 105, in the not-to-exceed amount of $86,780,000. Mr. Gordon.
Good evening. So this is the Phase 3 of the water line replacement in the Bonacary Spillway. We were able to do the first two phases, open cut and fusing the pipe in place. However, with this third phase, since there are some obstacles within the spillway, and it's going to need to be directionally drilled, so we need to have an engineer develop plans and specifications. They're going to basically design an 8-inch directionally drilled HDPE water line for approximately 3,800 linear feet with all the appurtenances, including all the necessary permitting and geological testing, with an estimated 2 months of inspection. Do you have any questions about that? I'm here.
All right, Mr. Gordon, thank you. File number 2022-0273 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Council discussion. Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Gordon, is there federal funding attached to this project?
No, there was originally, the department had utilized the Community Water Enrichment Fund grant, QEF, which is state, but it was, we put it back in, if I'm not mistaken, out of our capital budget and reutilize those QEF funds for the automatic meter read project. Problem was that you can only have 2 open awards at one time with the QEF grant funding, so it was easier to redo it, and we went and reapplied for the money, asked for an amendment, because by usually buying the meters, it's an open and shut kind of case. You buy the meters and you're able to close the grant. Having this take so long was extending that process and inhibiting our ability to get other further CWEF awards.
I'm just asking because they have federal provisions as part of this contract. That's usually when there's federal
that's in the
attached.
part of almost all the contracts since Hurricane Ida. If I'm not mistaken, most of the professional services contracts and construction contracts have some form of that information in them.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Jewell.
Greg, I just wanted, could you mention some of the obstacles that we're trying to avoid in the
One
spillway?
of the main obstacles is it's like an old graveyard out in the spillway area. It's somewhat known as an exclusion zone. So the engineer will have to be working with the Army Corps of Engineers about the design, how far we have to go over it, under it. Under it. I don't think we'll actually be allowed to go under it. We're currently under it. We're probably going to have to go around it, and hence also the design. Previously, it was kind of easy to do in a straight line.
What size line are we replacing?
I think it's an 8-inch.
Okay, and it's 8-inch. It's in place now, cast iron, and we're going to replace it with 8-inch.
That's another one that's cast iron. So this is 8-inch. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think it's a cast iron line. I think it's PVC. It's just old.
All right. Was that susceptible to any breaks or anything during the hurricane, or was it part of? Do you have
The
any of that?
spillway line that was
Yeah.
out there? No, it didn't have any problems
Have anything
during,
with
we
that?
didn't have any problems with it during Ida.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any other further council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2022-0273. And that motion passes unanimously. 2022-0274, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Danny J. Abear, P.E. LLC, DBA Civil and Environmental Consulting Engineers, to perform engineering services for the LE-18 cast iron water main replacement Phase 3 project number WWKS 113, not to exceed the amount of $120,150. Mr. Gordon.
Yes. So this is the Phase 3 of our LA cast iron replacement. Will be going from Fashion to Esperanza, moving eastward. We will be providing, the engineering services will design an 8-inch directionally drilled C900 PVC water main for approximately 4,800 linear feet with all the appurtenances, including all the necessary permitting, and an estimated 150 calendar days of resident inspection.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon.
So,
File number 2022-0274 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who wishes to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your votes for file number 2022-0274. And that motion passes unanimously. 2022-0252, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 1, in general, by adding Section 2-16.6, Civil Service Employee Pay Classification and Play Plan Study. Mr. Dufresne.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
I'd like to make a motion to add Gibbs, Fisher, and Gordon as sponsors to this, please.
okay. I have a motion on the floor by Mr. Gibbs.
Can I also take money off of it?
Okay, so we'll have another motion. Can you include that
We can do
motion?
it amended to do both at the same time.
Okay.
So we'll make a motion to amend and add Gibbs, Fisher, Gordon as sponsors and delete Ms. Fonseca as a sponsor.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor by Mr. Gibbs. Do I have a second? I have a second by Ms. Gordon to amend the file number 2022 to add this Gibbs, Fisher, and Gordon as co-sponsors and remove Fonseca. File number 2022-0252 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this amendment, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairman. On this, I'm going to request that somebody make a motion to withdraw this ordinance. It was stated at the last council meeting when we adopted the pay plan that we would be taking basically exactly what this says and adding it to the civil service rules. That is going to be adopted, or that's going to be introduced tomorrow for our civil service board meeting, which will be next Tuesday. So we will be basically adopting this exact thing and putting it in the civil service rules under maintenance of the pay plan, which I believe is the most appropriate place for that.
Ms. Fonseca.
That was along the lines of what I was going to say and the reason why I'm removing my name as sponsorship. Last meeting, when I originally did put my name on the sponsorship, I didn't have the information, the historical information, but I think I mentioned last meeting that Ms. Parker had provided that since 2003. It's been done every 3 to 5 years. But the other reason is the same as Mr. Jewell provided, is the more appropriate place for this to be is in the Civil Service Manual and not via council ordinance. So as long as they're doing that, I really don't feel like there's a need for the council to do this. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Gordon.
Yes, thank you. I just have one question. Will it read exactly as it states with the Civil Service Board?
I don't have the exact language in front of me, but we had a meeting on it today. It basically says that the personnel officer shall conduct a pay study every 3 to 5 years. Every 3 to 5 years in accordance to maintain the parish's civil service pay plan. So may not be verbatim of this, but because this says every 3 years, the recommendation by SSA was every 3 to 5. And the reason I think that is beneficial is because you could come up against a deadline and be coming off of a hurricane or a new parish president. In fact, it would happen in 2032. A new president could come in and have this basically thrust onto him instead of giving he or she the time to kind of get everything under control or the way they see fit. So while it is not verbatim here, it does say every 3 to 5 years for the personnel officer to conduct a pay plan, and that will be in the civil service. I forget exactly what section it is, but it's under maintenance of the pay plan.
Okay, so Ms. Cluley.
I think you have a motion on the floor that you got to vote on.
Right, yes. We do have a motion on the floor to amend file number 2022-52. So please cast your votes for that amendment. That motion passes. Okay, file number 2022-0252 as amended is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You will have 3 minutes to speak.
He's making a motion.
Press motion earlier, that was my intention, was to withdraw it.
We're having internet connections. We're losing
Okay.
internet connection.
You want verbal?
I guess we could do a verbal. So the amended version is up for public hearing. We have to have the public hearing, and then when we get to council discussion, we'll go ahead and entertain that. So file number 2022-0252 as amended is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Mr. Dufresne.
I'd like to make a motion to pull this indefinitely. Withdraw it.
All righty, I have a motion by Mr. Dufresne, second Ms. Fonseca, to postpone this indefinitely. Please cast your votes on file number 2022-0252 to postpone indefinitely. All right, and that motion passes unanimously. File number 2022. No?
Councilman Gibbs voting nay.
With Councilman Gibbs voting nay, I apologize for that. Call before the horse. 2022-0283, a resolution to grant permission to the Knights of Columbus Red Church Council number 3634, 375 Spruce Street, Norco, Louisiana, 70079, to solicit contributions at the intersections of I-310 and River Road, Highway 48 by the East Bank Bridge Park, Ormond Boulevard and Airline Drive, US 61, Ormond Boulevard and River Road, Norco Fresh Market on Apple Street, Winn-Dixie at 12519 Airline Drive, US 61, and River Road Market at 13572 River Road on October 14th and 15th, or October 21st and 22nd, 2022, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. I would like to ask your support for this. Knights of Columbus do a wonderful job, and they take their solutions and spread them through the community. So, file number 2022-0283 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Corey, on this resolution, does the parish have any liability whatsoever for granting this? None?
It's just allowing the permitting process.
Okay. Thank you.
Permission to do without permitting.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further council discussion? Please cast your votes for file number 2022-0283. And that motion passes unanimously with Ms. Belloc absent for the rest of the evening. Appointments, 2022-0249. A resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish, the River Parish's Tourism Commission representing St. Charles Council. The council chairman will accept nominations to the River Parish's Tourism Commission representing the St. Charles Parish Council to fill a vacancy caused by the expiration of the term of Mr. Garrett Monte. 4-year term to begin October 31st, 2022 and expire October 31st, 2026. Nominee must be a member on the Economic Development Council. Appointment subject to Senate confirmation per RS 33-4574-12. This was deferred from the September 19th council meeting. Any nominations? Ms. Cluley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to nominate Mr. Noble Benoit.
So Mr. Noble Benoit is a nominee's name. A motion and a second is needed to close nominations. I have a motion by Ms. Fonseca, second by Mr. Fisher. Please cast your votes to close nominations. And that motion passes unanimously. Okay, meetings, announcements, notices, etc. Meetings, Lafourche Basin Levy District, Wednesday, October 5th, 2022, 6 p.m., Lafourche Basin Levy District Office, 21380 Highway 20 Vacherie. Communications District, 911, Monday, October 10th, 2022, 5 p.m., Council Chambers. Civil Service Board, Tuesday, October 11th, 2022, 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers. The Community Action Advisory Board, Wednesday, October 12th, 2022, 5 p.m., council chambers. Planning and Zoning Commission, Thursday, October 13th, 2022, 6 p.m., council chambers. Pontchartrain Levy District, Monday, October 17th, 2022, 6 p.m., Pontchartrain Levy District Headquarters Complex, 2069 Railroad Avenue, Lutcher. St. Charles Parish Council, Monday, October 17, 2022, 6 p.m. Announcements, public hearings to consider the proposed 2023 capital and consolidated operating budget, Tuesday, November 1st, 2022, 9 a.m., Thursday, November 3rd, 2022, 1 p.m., Monday, November 7th, 2022, 6 p.m. Important dates for the November 8th, 2022 election. Tuesday, October 11th, 2022 will be the last day to register to vote in person or by mail. Tuesday, October 18th, 2022, the last day to register to vote online at govote.com. Friday, November 4th, 2022, last day to request absentee ballots by mail. Early voting, Tuesday, October 25th, to Saturday, October 29, 2022, Monday, October 31st, 2022, and Tuesday, November 1st, 2022, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. West Bank will be at the Courthouse, 15045 River Road in Hanville. The East Bank, the Arterberry Building, 14564 River Road in New Sarpy. Monday, November 7th, 2022, last day for the register to receive the voted absentee ballots, and Tuesday, November 8th, 2022, Election Day, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mr. Jewell, I believe you have an announcement you'd like to make?
Yeah, and I apologize. I meant to mention this in my report, but they just stepped out. I just want to thank Joe Crofassi from Senator Kenny's office and Samantha Bott from Senator Cassidy's office for being here today. I know they just stepped out. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. A motion and a second is needed to adjourn by Mr. What happened? Okay, by Mr. Dufresne, second by Ms. Gordon. Please cast your votes to adjourn. Beth, you don't want to leave? And that motion passes unanimously. Have a great evening. See everybody at the Battle for the Palace.